Hello everyone, I am Kiran Joshi. Hope you all are safe and sound. This is the first video of Class 8 Civics, Chapter 8, Confronting Marginalisation. That is, to challenge or oppose marginalisation. Children, through the previous videos, we have learnt that our constitution lays down the democratic principles of state policy and the fundamental rights of the citizens. You also know that these fundamental rights are equally available to all Indians. The marginalized have used these fundamental rights in two ways. One, they have insisted on their fundamental rights and thus they have made the government know and understand the injustice done to them. Second, they have forcefully demanded the government to enforce these laws. There are examples where the marginalized have struggled or fought to influence the government to make new laws based on fundamental rights. Article 17 of the Indian Constitution says that untouchability is abolished and its practice in any form is forbidden. It means, children, that Dalits cannot be prevented from being educated. They cannot be denied to enter temples or using public facilities, etc. Children, it is a fact that practicing untouchability is a punishable crime. Then there is Article 15 of the Constitution. Children, Article 15 gives support to the argument against untouchability because this article prohibits discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, sex, caste or place of birth. Dalits have drawn on to Article 15 to demand equality for them whenever or wherever it has been denied to them. In this way, Dalits can refer to a fundamental right or different fundamental rights if they find a situation where they experience ill treatment. This ill treatment can be by some individual or by some community or even by the government. In such situations, they have demanded the government to follow the Constitution of India and provide justice to them. The other minority groups have also used the fundamental rights section of the Constitution, particularly the right to freedom of religion and cultural and educational rights. Here's the examples how the cultural and educational rights have been drawn on by some cultural and religious groups such as Muslims and Parsis. They have the right to be the custodian or to take care of the script, language and text of their culture and also have the right to decide how to preserve that content. Thus, through such provisions in the Constitution, it is tried to ensure that the minority groups are given cultural justice. And these provisions are there in the Constitution so that the culture of the minority groups is not dominated or rubbed out or completely swept away by the culture of the majority community. We know that it is the duty of the government to protect its citizens, and for that the government makes various laws. The government also makes particular laws and policies specially meant for marginalized groups and communities. Then some policies or schemes are made on the recommendations of a committee or a survey. The government's task doesn't get over just by making policies for the marginalized. It has to make an effort to promote these policies so that those specific groups for which such policies are meant may be benefited from them. The central as well as the state governments make specific schemes and policies which are to be implemented in the areas that are largely populated by the tribal groups or Dalits. One such scheme to promote educational facilities among Dalits and Adivasis is that the students belonging to such groups are provided free and subsidized hostels so that they can be benefited with the educational facilities that are not available in their localities. The government also takes various steps and measures to end inequity in the system. It makes certain laws in this regard. One such law or policy is the reservation policy. This reservation policy is very significant, and at the same time, children, it is a matter of disagreement and argument. According to the reservation policy, some seats in the education and government services are reserved for the Adivasis and Dalits. This reservation is based on the argument that these sections of the society have been deprived of the opportunities to get education or to learn and to work in order to develop new skills and employment. And it is the duty and responsibility of a democratic government to intervene and provide support to these sections for their upliftment and to make them part of mainstream society. The very obvious question that may arise is, how does the reservation policy work? So children, the central government and the different state governments have their lists in which the marginalized have been placed in various categories such as scheduled caste or Dalits, scheduled tribes and other backward classes, OBCs. Whenever students apply to get admission in some government educational institutions, or the people apply to get jobs in government services, they are supposed to present certificates as proof of their caste or tribe status. It is required so that if a specific caste or tribe is there in the government list of reservation, then a candidate can get the benefits of reservation. Let's learn a little more about the reservation policy of the government. In the higher education institutions, especially in professional education institutions such as medical colleges, the government decides a minimum level of marks to qualify for admission of Dalits and Adivasi candidates. It is called the cutoff mark. It is done to make sure that only those Dalit and Adivasi candidates who have done pretty well and secured equal or above the cutoff mark can qualify for admission, and not all Dalit and Adivasi candidates. The qualifying candidates or students are further provided with special scholarships by the government. So children, that's all for this video. The remaining portion of the chapter will be covered in the next video. Till then, try to answer these questions. The first question is, in which two ways have the marginalized drawn on fundamental rights? Second question, what does Article 17 of our Constitution state? Third question, how does Article 15 of our Constitution help to strengthen the argument against untouchability? Fourth question, what does government do to promote social justice among Dalits and Adivasis? Children, if you found this video helpful and wish to watch more of such content, do consider subscribing to the channel. And also, if you have any queries or comments, please post them in the comment section below. Thank you.